Hello, my name is Allison and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I will be giving a brief history of BTS at the Grammys and then detail the events that happened at the 63rd Grammys in regards to BTS. So, let's get into the video. BTS's history with the Grammys started in 2018. BTS's Love Yourself Tear and the album's art director Husky Fox were nominated in the Best Recording Package category, which celebrates the visual look of an album. Even though the award for this category would go to the art director and not BTS themselves, it was a really big moment for them and showed that they were on the Grammys' radar. In 2019, none of BTS's music was nominated for a Grammy. However, they were invited to present an award at the ceremony. In 2020, none of BTS's music was nominated once again. However, they were able to perform for the first time at the award show. The performance wasn't a solo, but a collab with Lil Nas X and his other collaborators with his hit song, Old Town Road. Lil Nas X collabed with RM to have a remix of the song titled the Soul Town Road Remix. Even though this song only had RM on the track with Lil Nas X, all the members of BTS participated in the performance. This changed the next year. On Tuesday, November the 24th of 2020, the nominations for the Grammys came out and BTS achieved a nomination for Best Pop Duo Group Performance. BTS and their team submitted their work in many categories of the Grammys. However, they only got one nomination. In a way, to the fandom, it felt like a snub. The Grammys was showing that it preferred BTS's new all-English language single instead of nominating any of their Korean work. Despite all of this was an incredible accomplishment for them. This was the first nomination for a Korean music act in the pop category. This nomination was history-making. A couple of days before the 63rd Grammys, the Recording Academy made the schedule for the Grammys public. In the schedule, BTS's award category that they were nominated for was indicated to be in the pre-show and not presented in the main broadcast. To most of the people in the fandom, this didn't make sense. The award that BTS was nominated for was the most anticipated award of the show. Why would you not want to broadcast that on TV? The other thing that the pre-Grammy show schedule showed is that all awards in the R&B categories and most of the awards in the rap categories would not be shown on the main telecast, but in the pre-show. It seemed as if the Grammys were making a clear message of wanting to limit the number of people of color on the main broadcast. It was so frustrating. We were also able to see when BTS would perform on the main broadcast. However, when the time came, the schedule was not honest. A little bit before the Grammy pre-show on YouTube, and also during the beginning of the show, RM, Suga, and J-Hope posted on Weverse. They were sharing their nerves with us. I thought this was so sweet and endearing. It's really like they see us as close friends or family, sharing their nerves with us. It was also really cool since this was all happening in real time. They were just as nervous, just like us. It made them feel even more relatable. Eventually, the Best Pop Duo Group Performance came up, and unfortunately, BTS did not win the award. The Grammy went to Rain on Me by Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande. Once the winner was announced, ARMY immediately left the pre-show on YouTube. The views went from around 1.2 million to around 400,000. While we were disappointed in BTS not winning, it felt more like a slap in the face on how everything went down. The potential Grammy recipients were all on Zoom and were waiting in a waiting room. If they won the award, they were brought up to the main screen. BTS's team made an entire set for BTS to sit in and watch the Grammys to prepare for this. The members also got up extra early in order to get dressed and do their makeup. It just felt like, why would the producers of the show not tell the people that did not win the awards to just not show up? This way, BTS would not have had to get up in the early hours of the morning in Korea, and their team would have not made that set. Since everyone was in their own individual Zoom waiting room, All the producers had to do was have the award winners in the waiting rooms and tell them that all the nominees were on the video call. It just felt so unprofessional and as if they were trying to humiliate BTS. Taking to Twitter and Weverse, many people were adding BTS and giving them lots of love. ARMY even trended the hashtag BTS our greatest prize. In the midst of this, BTS flooded Twitter and Weverse with pictures and sweet words from them. They kept saying how much they loved us and how we were the best. RM even posted a story on Weverse showing the comments under his message. We were really glad that BTS was seeing all the love that ARMY had to give. They also told us to watch out for their performance in the main show. Through it all, BTS were so kind and gracious. Even if they were a bit disappointed, they didn't show it. Instead, they focused on ARMY and gave us so much love and support. They knew we wanted that win for them just as much as they wanted it themselves. Yet, at the end of the day, ARMY matters most. In an interview a few days before the Grammys, RM stated, "So please don't forget that, whether we get the Grammys or not, we already got what we wanted. We got you. So that means we got everything." So with all this love and encouragement, ARMYs were able to feel a bit more energized and couldn't wait for BTS's performance. During the main broadcast, we found out that the schedule that the Grammys had shown where the performances would lie for the main show was incorrect. It seemed as if they did that to make the show more unpredictable. What really infuriated me and many ARMYs was that the show kept insinuating that BTS was coming up soon. Almost every 30 to 45 minutes, there was a clip saying BTS's performance was coming up soon. However, BTS didn't even perform until the very end. They were the second to last performance of the night. By the time we got to their performance, I and so many others were mentally and emotionally exhausted. BTS's performance definitely energized me some, but I still felt so drained after it was over. The entire day was exhausting. I felt so used and was so angry. The Grammys used BTS and they used ARMY. They used ARMY's engagement for the pre-show and they used our engagement for the main telecast. They were milking our views dry. It felt so blatant and disrespectful. BTS's performance was incredible. It was electric and exciting. It looked like they were having so much fun. I am so incredibly proud of them. They were wonderful. Around 30 minutes after the Grammys ended, BTS went on V-Live for around 17 minutes. On this V-Live, they shared their honest thoughts with us. They said that even though they were a bit disappointed, they were also very grateful and that they were able to have a solo performance at the award show since that was something they really wanted. They also said that they didn't know when their performance was going to air, so they ended up watching the entire show just like us. What I really loved about this V-Live was that they showed a very human side to them. It's so easy to brush things off like they didn't mean anything to you. But BTS didn't. They said that they were disappointed, but that they would work harder to make even better music and have even better performances. It made me have even more respect and feel even more love towards them. Once the V-Live was over, they also sent sweet messages on Weverse to give us strength. It was really endearing. There was also a statement sent to the media from Big Hit from BTS. It stated, "It's a great honor to have been nominated at the Grammy Awards with prominent global musicians and to have performed on our own stage we'd hoped for. It'll be remembered as a meaningful moment. It's all thanks to ARMYs. We'll restlessly progress towards our next goal." At almost near midnight, BTS uploaded a video on their personal Twitter account showing their reaction to not winning the Grammy Award. What I love about this moment is how unfiltered it is, how real it is, how human it is. It's so easy to only show people the good things that happen to you. It's so easy to show everyone your reaction when you win. But to show your reaction when you lose takes a different level of humility. In the video, you can see BTS hug each other and say that they did a good job. It really shows how much they support each other. It also shows that even though they didn't want the Grammy, they also knew that it wouldn't change anything. It wouldn't change how their fans saw them, and it wouldn't make them lose their fans. In the end, they know what is most important. Early the next morning, Hobi posted on Twitter. It felt like BTS were still trying to comfort us even after hours had passed from the main event. Around 4 days later, statistics came in showing the after Grammy boost in sales for BTS's Dynamite. On that same day, an interview that was held with Ben Winston, who produced the Grammys this year and regularly produces The Late Late Show with James Corden, was released. He talked about the different performances and how it was like to deal with this in a pandemic situation. What I found most interesting about the interview is what he said about BTS. In the first half, he stated, "I don't know how much they want me to say about this because it's down to immigration and things like that, but yes, the idea was that everybody was going to come to LA. But with certain artists, as the day got nearer, and I'm talking very near, we realized that not all of them were going to be able to come. That didn't mean we didn't want them on the show, so we had a decision to make. But it wasn't always 100% that they were going to be in Korea. There's a story there that I'm not sure I'm allowed to go into, but ultimately, we realized that they weren't going to be able to come, and although we were hugely ambitious in terms of what we tried, I was always very aware of the safety of people traveling and how many people would be coming, and they don't travel lightly. And I never wanted to be the reason that anybody took risk they shouldn't have taken, and that is ultimately more important than a TV show." So, this first half of the interview seems to insinuate that Ben Winston and his team were trying to get BTS to come to do the show in LA. However, as time got really close to the show date, they decided to just allow them to do the performance in Korea. First of all, I feel as if coming to LA shouldn't have even been on the table. In the end of this part of the interview, he says that he didn't want anyone to have to take any unnecessary risk. However, if this was really true, he wouldn't have even asked them to come in the first place. It just seemed so disrespectful, and that he was trying to convince them to do what he wanted. Also, consider the optics of the situation. If BTS did come to LA from Korea, it would just reinforce all of the racist words that people were saying about BTS at the beginning of quarantine and continued on. It would look even worse because they are Asian. There have been a rise in anti-Asian rhetoric, discrimination, and violence since quarantine started. It would just amplify people's anti-Asian sentiments towards BTS even more. In the second half, Ben Winston stated, "So about 4 months ago, we booked BTS for the Late Late Show, and they didn't tell us what they were gonna do. They just said, we're gonna film a performance in Korea, and we think you'll like it. And what arrived in my email was one of the most unbelievable things I have ever seen in my life. They recreated, brick for brick, our entire set. James's area where he does his interviews, the performance space, the signage outdoors, and we hadn't sent them anything. We didn't even know it was happening. And so when I was talking to their amazing team, and I think BTS and their team are up there with the most talented people in the world, I said, is there any way you could do what you did for the Late Late Show, and our viewers will think you're there, but then you'll open the doors and be in Seoul?" And it was absolutely amazing. Within 5 or 6 days, they sent me a photo of our set in Korea, and I just couldn't believe the attention to detail. Because that way, it's not like they were sending in a music video, which I really didn't want to do. And if you look at it, they're singing live, and it's all shot in one go. I think there's only one cut in it, so they even bought into the concept of what we were trying to do. I thought their performance was sensational, and I think they were really happy to do it. All the messages I've gotten from the group have been really happy. I love them. I'm a proper BTS fan. From Ben Winston's perspective, it seemed as if BTS and their team were perfectly okay with rebuilding the Grammy set and then continuing the performance outside. We don't really know what the other side actually thought. However, I still think Ben Winston asking BTS and their team to rebuild the entire Grammy set was very rude and disrespectful. Mind you, this was happening very close to the date of the Grammys. This gave BTS and their team little time to put something together and then film it. It seemed unreasonable. However, I can see why they decided to do it. Since they were going to come to LA for the award show, they wanted to make the performance as realistic as possible. The last thing I want to touch upon in this video is the non-existent upload of BTS's Grammy performance. Whenever BTS has a performance, we all know that Big Hit usually uploads the performance right after the event ended or a couple hours later. However, this time it wasn't done. Looking on YouTube, it seems as if the performance videos that were uploaded to other artists' YouTube channels have all been credited to the Grammys. This makes it seem as if the Grammys are the ones that are making money off of the video's views and not the artist. So, fans are theorizing there must be something going on behind the scenes between Big Hit and the Recording Academy on who has rights to the video. At the end of the day, I don't care whether or not Big Hit uploads the video or not, as long as the Recording Academy doesn't get a single cent from BTS's views. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, please check out the description box for links to all of the information I mentioned in this video. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!